Welcome back to the channel. My name is Steven. I'm a pharmacist and I own 52 units of real estate. So today I want to talk about how I spent $1.2 million in less than 2 years. So before I get started, you can kind of see I'm actually in LA right now. All the black smoke behind me, a bunch of fires, and have some power outages. But just have to show up work to the hospital, right? Anyways, how I spent $1.2 million in less than 2 years. So in July of 2021, this is when interest rates were low during COVID. I had built up a lot of equity in my single family home portfolio because as interest rates went down, people started overpaying for single family homes because they can afford more home when your interest rate is, 3% or less. So because of that, all my single family homes massively appreciated. So because at the time, I work as a pharmacist and make a good W-2 income. I think at the time I was probably making about $190,000 and interest rates are lower. So what I did was I wanted to do a huge cash out refi. To be honest, I don't know how my mortgage broker made it happen, but I did a huge cash out refinance with Shell Point Mortgage. I think it might have been something else and then it got sold, but now it's Shell Point Mortgage. But I was basically able to lower my rate from like 4% down to like 3.5%. On top of that, pull out about $1.2 million tax free out of my single family home portfolio. Keep in mind, when you strip out $1.2 million of equity out of your single family home portfolio, your properties are now cash flow negative, right? So that's the downside. These are now called alligator properties because they're chomping into my income every month, right? So I pulled out that money with the intent to go buy a bunch of apartment complexes, which I did, right? I ended up buying a 26 unit, a mobile home park, and a 20 unit, right? With this $1.2 million within 2 years. So that's how the quick and dirty of how I spent $1.2 million in less than 2 years. So I put all this money, and because I had a high income W-2, because I had liquidity, because I had an amazing credit score of like 800 plus, I was able to pull out $1.2 million. Probably had a good mortgage broker too, and got all this money tax free. My W-2 income could support the negative cash flow, but now the downside is you're kind of handcuffed to your W-2 if you own a bunch of negative cash flow real estate, right? So that's the downside, right? So, I still have equity in them, and if I want to get rid of them, I have to maybe sell them or 1031 exchange them, right? So it's kind of pigeonholing me into this route. So, but my intent was to use this $1.2 million, borrow at, 3.5% interest, and now I'm negative cash flow on these properties, right? Even though they're rented at market rents. And I basically use that money to self-fund all my other acquisitions. So I bought a 26 unit apartment complex for $520,000 off market. I had to put $120,000 down, but I got $60,000 of seller credit. So I put $60,000 down. And what I did was I used that $60,000 credit to end up repairing a roof and repairing some units. So in this 26 unit apartment complex, I was self-funding the renovations myself. So I didn't do like a hard money loan or a bridge loan where the funding, the renovation is funded using hard money, right? I could have done that because I bought this deal so well, like where, I'd probably be paying like, 9% interest on renovation fund and still putting 25% down. So, but hey, you gotta do what you gotta do. So for me, I had the capital at 3.5%. So why not use the capital at 3.5 instead of borrowing at 9? But either option works, especially if you buy the deal right. So I ended up renovating the roof, which cost me $30,000. Did that immediately. Each unit, I think on average, came out to be about $7,000 to $10,000 a month. So for easy math, 10,000 times 26 units is 260K. So I have 260K for renovation of the units. I did 30,000 for the roof. I repainted the exterior which maybe cost me 10,000. I had to repair some wood trimming and fascia and get new gutters. Maybe that's another 10,000 plus another 5,000. So, I quickly spent the money, right? On this 26 unit. And, now, like fast forward today, I was able to increase the gross rents from when I took over at 8,000 to doubling that at 16,000, right? And the NOI increased significantly, and because of that, I was able to significantly force a lot of appreciation because the value is based on net operating income divided by the market cap rate. So my NOI went up, my cap rate maybe went up because of interest rates, but overall net, my property value went up. So that's how I quickly spent just right there, $350 for renovation, $60 for down payment. So call it about $400,000 right there. My next huge purchase was my mobile home park. So, this one ended up being a loss, right? Full disclosure, I ended up selling this for a loss, 2 years later for a $100,000 loss. But I bought it for $1.1 million. I put $100,000 down as a down payment. I had to pay these consultants $100,000 who helped manage my property. But, fast forward, they managed it poorly, which is part of the reason why I lost money. So, I paid them $100. I put $100 down. And for renovation, my God, I was literally writing $50,000 checks every single month for like a year, I want to say. So 50,000 or 25,000. I don't know. It was like some months were 50,000, some months were 25,000. Actually, I want to say it's 25,000 a month on average, right? Every year for like 2 years. So I think 25,000 times 10, that's about 250. So let's just call it maybe 500,000, whatever, right? I probably spent $500,000 worth of renovation, worth of repair. Park was doing terribly, so I basically put 100,000 down, 100,000 to these consultants who are useless, and 500,000 to renovations, repairs, right? So that's $700,000. I ended up selling it for a loss. I had to literally seller carry second, 450K on the deal, and I think I got about 150K back. So, obviously that's my loss, right? So I lost about $100,000 on this deal. Got it as a nice tax write-off, right? But side tangent, you don't know how stressful, even though I have the money set aside, like the 1.2, writing $25,000 checks, which is like more than my take-home income, psychologically messes with you, right? Because you can see your bank account dwindle over time and not see results. So no amount of money can fix a bad area. That's why you don't buy in high crime areas. You don't buy in bad areas. Even though the cash flow can seem attractive, it's a bad area for a reason. Stay away. No amount of money can fix a bad area. I spent $500,000 or $700,000 total, $500,000 to fix up a bad area, only to lose money, right? No amount of money can fix a bad area, right? Period. So stay away, right? That's why I'll never buy in bad areas ever again, right? Learn my mistake. And, I'm seller carrying second 450. I'm not even guaranteed to get that 450 seller carry second, right? I hope I do. I hope I'll get some of it back, but you don't know, right? We'll see. Because the next owner is, probably putting $1 million to fix it up. Maybe $1 million to fix a bad area. I don't know, right? Hopefully I do. I want them to do better because I want my money back, right? That's kind of my goal and my lesson. And, I could have bought a 20-unit apartment complex instead, or a 50-unit apartment complex in Oklahoma instead of buying this shitty mobile home park that I ended up losing money on, right? I'll do another whole video talking about that because that's the one deal that got away, just like that one girl that got away, right? If I bought that deal, Section 8 housing, $33,000 a month guaranteed rent to your bank account on the first of every month. There's some sort of security with that, right? And there's a wait list for Section 8 tenants, and they're paying premium rents of like $600, $650 on average, where I'm getting about, $500, $550 on average in that market. So it was a premium, but maybe it's tougher tenants. I don't know, right? I'm sure there's other headache that I'm not aware of. But anyways, rather wait on that versus deal the headache my mobile home park. So boom, spent it right there. Whatever's left over, so I have $700 for mobile home park. What is it? $400 for that one. That's 1.1. I spent $100,000 to buy my 20 unit, which was for the down payment, right? Because I bought for 350, put 25% down, which is about, I think, what is that, like 80 something, 80,000, let's just call it. And then I put 20,000 for renovation, and then I had a hard money loan, so they financed the other 100,000 for my renovation, right? So there you go. Like, so I kind of felt like I experienced the lottery winner experience where I got $1 million, $1.2 million deposit in my account. I remember the day I was depositing my account, open bank account. I was like, holy shit, I had to like double take. And I remember showing my girlfriend, now fiance, my bank account, and she was like, she had to like rub her eyes. I'm like, we were in like disbelief, like, what the hell? I'd never seen this much money. And you feel secure, but then over time, because I bought a lot of real estate, all your money was being dwindled down, and it was hard to manage the money, to be honest, because I was renovating a 26 unit, I was renovating a mobile home park, I was renovating a 20 unit, and I'm writing checks to each property, each LLC, each property, right? I'm writing like $25,000 checks to my 26 unit because I had a roof. I'm writing a $25,000 check for my mobile home park because of the monthly repairs. I'm writing another $25,000 check for renovation for this one. And when you're managing this many renovations and value add deals, like, you're losing track of your money. So this is how a lot of winners feel too, right? Like, and all of a sudden, fast forward 2 years, I look back, I was like, holy shit, I spent all my money, right? I spent all my money on my mobile home park. I spent all my money on my 26 unit. I spent all my money on my 20 unit. And when I was hoping to sell my mobile home park, I was hoping to get my money back. But I had the seller carry second the money. So it's still trapped in the deal. So I have a lot of money trapped in equity, right? My 26 units worth $1.6 million today. My loan is like 400, call it. I have 400 I put in there, 800 all in. So I have $800,000 of trapped equity. My mobile home park, 450K trapped equity. My 20 unit, it's worth 800. My loan's 400. I have $400,000 of trapped equity, right? So like, I'm like, shit, I have to sell one of these or do a cash out refinance to get the money, but interest rates are high, right? So I actually did get quoted from a lender I use called Corvest. If you want to use them, email me or send me a message and I'll give you my email. It's sdatnewin@gmail.com, and I can refer you to who I'm working with. But I just asked them, like, hey, like, I have a 4% interest rate on my 26 unit, 10-year fixed, 10-year balloon. So I'm on year like, what I got in 2021, so I'm on year like 4, let's just call it. And then my 20 unit, I locked in 6.5% interest on this, and because it was during 2023 when I refinanced it, so interest rate's higher, and I'm on year, maybe 2 on this property. So I asked them, hey, could I put both my 20 unit, which is worth 800,000, and my 26 unit, which is worth 1.6 million, under one loan, so I can do a huge cash out refinance, right? To do a huge cash out refinance. So he just said, all right, give me the numbers. So I gave him the numbers. I gave him the gross rents is 10,000 for my 20 unit, 16,000 for my 26 unit. So that's $26,000 a month. For simple math, expense is 50%. Let's just call it, right? So 13,000 is my expense. I have 13,000 in net operating income. My current loan is 2,000 plus 2,600. So that's 4,600. Let's just make it 4,500 for simplicity. So 3,000 minus 4,500. So what is that? That's about $8,500 a month. Let's just make the cash flow $8,000 a month that I'm cash flowing, right? Which is about right. That's about what it's cash flowing. So because of that 8,000 cash flow, it's covering my negative 3,000 a month on my single family home portfolio that I pulled out. My mobile home park note is paying me $2,200 a month. So that covers the negative cash flow over there. So overall net, I'm positive, right? But still stressful owning negative cash flow real estate, to be honest, to be transparent, right? Like, you don't want to get too many negative cash flowing properties if you want to scale. So from there, I, basically said, okay, well, he was like, the DSCSR on the loan is about 1.25, right? So, and he gave me some quotes. So I was actually surprised by the interest rate. So a 10-year fixed balloon, 10-year term balloon has an interest rate of 7.15. And I was like, oh, it's a lot lower than I thought. But why is it low? because the prepayment penalty is rough, right? They want you to own that loan for at least 9.5 years out of 10. And in the last 6 months, you can cash out refinance onto another loan, right? So I just said, ooh, like, that's why it's good, because they're trying to lock in a 7.5% interest rate. And then I don't know what it meant, but it says like 114-month yield maintenance. So I'm assuming that they're expecting X amount of interest in 9.5 years. And if I were to cash out refinance within like 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, they're going to make me pay the difference between what I paid them in interest minus what they want. So I'm like, that's a huge penalty, right? But hey, I could pull out $1.44 million. So I could pull out all my money, right? All my down payment, all my renovation costs for my 26 unit, my 20 unit, plus an additional, I think, $170,000 on top of that. So that's a perfect BRRRR, right? Because the monthly payment is $10,000 a month. So if you take 13,000, which is my NOI, divided by 10,000, that's greater than a DSCR of 1.25. It's a loan to value of 60%, right? Which is below 75% for cash out refinance. And I still would cash flow $3,000 a month, right? So I could pull out $1.4 million, but my loans, let's call it 800, right? Or 700. Let's just call it 700. So I would basically be able to pull out $700,000 total on top of that, which is all my money, right, that I put into these deals. So, and I can use that to go buy another apartment if I want to, right? So I this is why I don't like, to be honest, like balloons, because like in prepayment penalties. So I'm actually reaching out to another mortgage lender, Velocity. Once again, you reach out to me if you want their contact, but they actually offer fixed 30-year loans on small multifamily, on multifamily, 5 to 50 units. So I was like shocked. I was like, I didn't know that existed. The most I knew was a 10-year term, right? But Velocity offers a product where you could do long-term financing, 30-year fixed on like 5 to 50 units, which is game changing, because I don't have to worry about a balloon. Like, I wish I locked in a 4% interest rate on my 30-year fixed on my 26 unit, my 20 unit. I would have done that in a heartbeat, right? But the downside of a low interest rate is it discourages you from refinancing. So I'm like, well, maybe I'll pull it, but I'm getting quotes from Velocity too, right? Because Corvest, they gave me a great term, but I don't like the prepayment penalty. So I'm gonna ask them, well, how's the interest rate gonna go up if I loosen the prepayment penalty? And it's probably gonna be closer to like 8% is my prediction. So I'll see if Corvest is 8% but fixed for 30 years. I'm like, well, why not get it fixed for 30 years and have more options? So yeah, it's really just that. So and back to the story, like, that's how lottery winners feel. I got $1.2 million in like wired to me, and I literally spent it all in 2 years, right? This is why people who win the lottery, they go broke just as fast, because you're spending all this money and you don't feel it until all of a sudden you look in your bank account and you're like, holy shit, I just spent all my money, right? That's why I say wealth is a mindset. And after that, I was like, you know what? I never want to do 3 value adds ever again. I don't want to renovate a 26 unit, a 20 unit, and a mobile park simultaneously ever again. I just want to do one deal at a time, right? So if I buy another apartment complex, that's the only apartment complex I'm going to do, buy and renovate. I don't care about if I find another good deal. I just want to renovate that, finish it, be done with it. Then I'll buy another one, right? So if I do have extra money, I'll just buy turnkey properties, new construction. Just buy it, rent it, forget it, right? Because I'm focusing on my renovation, because renovation costs always get more than expected. You're always going to spend more than you expect on renovations, because once you start ripping off drywall, you see plumbing issues, you see other issues, things cost more, right? So always factor in accordingly, right? So just wanted to create a video to share how I spent $1.2 million in less than 2 years, right? That's crazy to me when I say that out loud, but that's what I did from 2021 to 2025 or 2023. So anyways, let me know what questions you have. Hopefully this video is valuable to you and you learned a lot. Let me know what questions. Again, if you want to learn how to buy multifamily with some mentorship, some guidance, check out the link down below, or you can put a comment. I'll respond to you. Otherwise, please like, comment, subscribe, share this video, and hope to see you next one. Thank you so much.